And time now for culture. If you know the story Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or if you've read the book Matilda, you will certainly be familiar with the drawings of British artist Quentin Blake. He's a living legend in the art world, and with his 80th birthday fast approaching, our correspondents met up with him.
They're knee-high to a grasshopper, or thereabouts, and hordes have come to the South Ken Kids Festival in London to celebrate a special someone's 80th birthday. Quentin Blake, an artist whose work is loved by children the world over and yet rarely appears on stage himself. In books is where the magic happens as he brings to life the reader's favourite characters.
Matilda, BFG.
From the big friendly giant to Matilda, Quentin Blake is best known for his collaborations with children's author Roald Dahl, not forgetting Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But more than that, his dreamlike creations like these decorate the walls of hospitals. He even illustrated Voltaire's philosophical tale Candide. He's currently working on fables by classical French author La Fontaine, using just pen, ink and empathy.
The sort of drawing I do, I always feel as though I'm living it at the time. You have to feel the movements of the pen, so it matters that you have a pen that is scratchy and that you can feel the shapes that you're drawing.
It's those shapes that come to life in front of the audience back on stage at the Children's Literary Festival. Alongside fellow artist Joanne Sfar, their four hands create four-legged friends.
You bring joy to the audience. I bring anxiety to kids.
While their dogs may be very different, their spirits are very much in tune.
I think in terms of drawing, we're sort of members of the same family, really, I think.
For the French illustrator, Quentin Blake is the greatest living illustrator of his time.
Speaking to children makes the process easier because we're here to make them laugh. But I know where I stand. I'm really Mr. Blake's disciple. He uses the oldest and most humble material in the world, water paints. And with that, he creates something that's always jazzy, that's always vibrant.
Having captured the youngest and oldest of hearts, what could Quentin Blake possibly wish for on his 80th birthday?
I want to be able to go on standing here and drawing for as long as possible. I'll have that, please.
And we'll have that too, please, Mr. Blake.
Our art critic Sean Rose has joined us on set. Sean has been going to exhibitions, reading books. Sean, it's the Christmas season. What do you recommend for our viewers?
Well, I recommend something that is still on till January, so mid-January. It's Fabrice Hibert. Fabrice Hibert had a great season. He's an artist who was born in '61, and he's quite crazy. He's kind of madness, and he did this prototypal object in function they're called POF. The acronym is POF, and the POF is a DIY experimental contraption devised by Fabrice Hibert. You can make a man out with tubes and earth. You've got the kind of the recipe, as it were. At the museum, you can recycle all sorts of things and don this costume. It's a very participative exhibition where you can really go and see and touch and see. You can have this plant like crazy dervish, and you have the videos of how these POF work.
And so you've been getting your hands on this?
Yes, of course. I've got loads of these things, the artworks that you make yourself. Hibert is art with a twist, obviously. You participate, you can go on the swings. I won't tell you what kind of swings. There's always something mad and naughty about Hibert. There's a mischievous side to his work. So let's see, this is a game, for example. You just crash the other's building. You just throw the dice, and if you got the figure, it'd be the number on the Richter scale. So you have 6, then it'd be on the Richter scale 6. So then you smash your playmate's game. You can a 6-finger glove. You can grow yourself an extra finger. It's always useful. One never knows. You've got everything.
You've been enjoying this.
You need to have. If you want to be, have an extra wife, you might want to have another finger. And because it's anti-growth, and there's also a barrel. Anti-growth barrel where you can put a child before he grows an awful a teenager. You put him in a barrel and you just give him a bit of food. He'll stop growing because you see it's like
sounds
it's lovely. And well, anyway, he's actually Well, a bit not serious, but actually serious. So I did ask Fabrice Hibert how he just conceived the space, how he staged the exhibition, and this is Fabrice Hibert talking about us, to us about this exhibition.
I decided to fill up the main gallery area using no partition walls. I just wanted a big wall with videos presenting the prototype objects in function. No text, no words of explanation, only images. On the floor, it's the same idea. There's a sort of grid with the real objects displayed next to each other. There's no particular order. I wanted everything to be mixed up so visitors could take part, try the objects, make some more, and even destroy them.
Okay, let's move on to the books. You have some books today that are so heavy you have to bring them in a suitcase. What are you looking at?
Well, here is Le Louvre, so don't stop queuing. Well, you know there's Louvre Lens as well, so kind of big, the masterpieces, some of them have gone to Lens. But you won't have to go either to Paris or Lens. You can stay ensconced in your armchair and look at every single picture of the Louvre, because they're in this book, which is massive, is by Eric Lessing, photographer, and Vincent Pomared, who is actually the director of the paintings department. You have this beautiful Reynolds that is in Louvre Lens, and you have all the classics. But also, what is really interesting is you have these like vignettes where you have every single picture. So you have all those that are not very famous, and you might find interesting, and you might have missed them.
Exhaustive account of everything that's in the Louvre.
Yes, everything is in it,
including what they have, that's not actually hanging on the walls.
Yeah, they have everything. They've got everything, and this you have the Delacroix we just seen, and obviously Mona Lisa. So. And
you've got another book with you that seems to merge art and fashion. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. This is called The Unknown Hipster Diaries. It's by Jean-Philippe Delorme. There is an exhibition actually at Colette chez Colette, which is a kind of very trendy concept store, Rue du Faubourg Saint-Honoré. It's actually about, he stayed in New York, and he did a blog kind of, of what he saw in the streets and about people, about this guy with the bow tie goes well with his dots. The dots are actually Damien Hirst paintings. So it's like, this kind of vanity, and this performance by Marina Abramovich, where she sat for hours and hours, and you just sat as a visitor in front of her, and you see the unknown hipster kind of collapsing because he's just out of patience. And he's a bit silly, a kind of Mr. Bean of fashion. You see him at the royal wedding, and with Karl Lagerfeld, with Marc Jacobs. It's quite interesting.
Sean, I got to move you on because I want to hear about this last thing. You've got more crisscrossing between art and the fashion world, just briefly.
Absolutely. After Colette, you can also, I'm sure, find this book there by Tim
Walker,
Hudson.
storyteller.
Tim Walker. This is a fashion photographer, who actually does incredible portraits like Alexander McQueen, fashion people. But actually, there's a kind of mise en scène. The setting is really kind of Alice in Wonderland, and it's really quite interesting to see how the art and fashion cross.
All right, Sean Rose, our art critic, thank you very much. Our viewers will be picking up on your suggestions, I'm sure. Thanks for watching France 24. We've got more world news coming up in just a few minutes.